Hey guys, Dr. Shook here, and this is another sauna session. In this sauna session, I just want to record a pretty quick video for you guys and just talk about TSH a little bit more. I get this question a lot. I've recorded a few videos on this, but I want to talk about why looking at TSH alone is not enough. And what it comes down to is that TSH is made by your pituitary gland. It is thyroid stimulating hormone. So what does TSH do? It stimulates the thyroid to produce more hormone. Okay, when your doctors use that TSH level, they evaluate, they look at the TSH level, and typically how it's supposed to work, if all of the feedback systems, so I'm talking about feedback systems of the body, work properly. Okay, so basically a feedback system is when a hormone goes up, the brain will recognize that and decrease another hormone, or vice versa, right? If one goes down, the brain will produce more of a hormone to keep things in balance. That's the idea. So they look at TSH to see if this feedback loop, well, they look at TSH and they use it to help titrate your thyroid hormone medications, because their reasoning is that indirectly they can evaluate thyroid hormone levels like T4 and T3 by looking at TSH alone. And so what they'll do is, if TSH is high, that means your brain's pumping out a lot more TSH. And what is TSH? It's thyroid stimulating hormone. So the doctor thinks, well, if the TSH is high, the brain is telling the body that it needs more thyroid stimulating hormone, that it needs more hormone, so to pump out and make more thyroid stimulating hormone to ramp up the production of the thyroid hormones by the thyroid. Okay, but here's the problem with I've seen this so many times in practice that TSH is not accurate. It does not represent the values that we're looking at with the thyroid hormones, the T4 and the T3. And I think there's a lot of different reasons for it. Once you start taking medications, thyroid hormone replacements, which I'm going to tell you, they're vital to life hormones. They're absolutely essential that you take them if you need them. You cannot be deficient in thyroid hormone. If you're deficient in thyroid hormone, everything degenerates and slows down. The brain, everything, every cell in your body requires thyroid hormone. So it's something that people ask, well, I don't want to take hormones forever. And I understand that. And if you have Hashimoto's and too much of the gland has not already been destroyed, then maybe there's a possibility that you can get off of that hormone if you dampen the autoimmune process. But it is a vital to life hormone. You need thyroid hormone. So it's one of those that I would not resist. I would follow your doctor's instructions on taking it, and I would work to figure out what works best for you. But what happens is, when you take thyroid hormones, and you're getting this external source of thyroid hormone, because typically what happens, your thyroid makes your thyroid hormone, correct? So if you're taking it externally, the body you can actually suppress this feedback system to the brain, because if the brain keeps seeing consistently that there's enough or maybe even a little bit more thyroid hormone than's needed, and the brain is like, well, you know what, I don't need to signal the pituitary gland to make TSH, so I'm just going to stop doing it eventually. And you can actually lose that brain feedback to the pituitary. And sometimes you'll see people that may have, one of the patterns, and there's other possibilities of things that can happen here, but one of the things that I've seen in practice is that you might see TSH low and thyroid hormones low. Now, what does your doctor think if TSH is low? If they see TSH alone and that's all they're looking at, then they think that your thyroid hormones are hyper or high. But what can happen is, if you suppress that feedback mechanism, then TSH could be low and your thyroid hormone could be low. That's a real possibility. So that's when you lose that feedback loop. It's no longer practical. Other things I've seen is where it's no longer useful. So you have to do more than TSH. Other things that I've seen happen is where women have either PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome, or they're getting exposure to testosterone from a male partner that may use a cream, and they get exposed. So PCOS can produce increased testosterone. Of course, if they are making skin-to-skin contact with a significant other or a partner, they can increase through this transmission of the testosterone that's a cream into their own body, and they can increase their testosterone levels. One of the things that can happen, and blood sugar can also do this to a degree, blood sugar can increase an enzyme in women that will cause them to produce more. It upregulates an enzyme. What, we just went dark in here. It upregulates an enzyme and can cause you to produce too much testosterone. So 17 20 lyase can be upregulated through blood sugar dysregulation and cause an increased production of testosterone. And so these three different things can cause testosterone levels to go high. And when testosterone goes high, you can see a drop in the little carrier proteins that carry your thyroid hormone around the body. When this happens, and if you have a significantly less number of these called thyroid binding globulin proteins, as a result of increased testosterone, what can happen is that you have a lot of free hormone available. So a lot of free T4, a lot of free T3, which is the hormone that stimulates and physiologically stimulates your cells of your body. But it's a very small percentage of the overall thyroid hormone. Your total hormones are the hormones that are bound to the proteins. It's a much greater percentage, much greater percentage. But all it takes is a little bit of free hormone to really stimulate your physiology, your cellular function. And you know what? If that pattern's occurring where the testosterone's high, there's a lot of free floating hormones, so you would have higher free T3 or higher free T4, that could stimulate increased symptoms of like hyperthyroidism or increased physiology, even though you may have low total amounts, okay, low total T4, low total T3. So when I'm looking at this and see the total values, the total T4 has the greatest impact on TSH. So when total T4 goes high, if the feedback systems in the brain are working, the TSH goes down. Okay, so these are just scenarios I want to paint for you guys that just illustrate the fact that you can't just look at TSH, in my opinion. I think that's a really poor way. If you've worked through a lot of potential problems, then okay. If you work through a lot of potential problems and you've been working on it and you understand, you've looked at all these issues that we've looked at, but we get at least 7 different thyroid hormone markers, and then we get 2 antibodies, which equals 9 total, to really help us figure out what's going on. But I wanted to talk about this because TSH just becomes an unreliable marker for so many reasons. There's so many patterns and things that can occur where you lose these feedback systems of the brain that you've got to take some things into consideration other than just TSH. It's why so many people continue to have problems even though their labs are normal, right? So I'm Dr. Shook. Listen, if you guys need anything, please let us know. We're here to help you out. If a lot of people ask us, if they can work with us, if there's any way that we can work with them from a distance. And yes, I work with people all over the country. I work with people in other countries outside of the U.S., but I work with people all over the country. We can do distance consulting via Skype, phone, or FaceTime. And then we can also, if you need help, we've got other tools available. Like we have a 9 tests required to understand your thyroid guidebook. If you're interested in that, let me know, and we'll post a link so that you can go to the page and get it if you want it. And then there's also, I've put together the diet and lifestyle plan that I've utilized with a lot of my patients in the office. We put that together and into a video-based program where we have a Facebook support group that's private for people that are going through that program. We have dietary and lifestyle recommendations, and if you're interested in that program, let us know, and I'll post a link below so you can attend one of the webinars and learn about it and see if it might be a good fit for you. But in any event, I appreciate you guys coming here, learning more about your health. If there's anything that I can do for you or that my staff we can help you out with, we'll do everything we can to help you and just really help you try to get your health back and quality life. So I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you for coming here, and I hope you have a wonderful day.